the host of Aaron's Hour, Aaron Phillips.
And good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to another live edition of Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, coming to you live from the WWDBTV studios in the heart of what's turning out to be a beautiful Las Vegas the next couple of days. Temperatures are getting back to normal, near 80 degrees. Oh, and then by Wednesday, it'll be dropping down to 60 again. So there's that bipolar weather that we have here. So be safe. Don't get sick, please. Thank you for joining us. More importantly, thank you for making me part of your Saturday today. Greatly appreciate it, especially on this weekend. We got Passover happening. We got Easter tomorrow. Schools are out all around the country because of the holidays. I definitely want to thank you for making me part of your day. 702-992-3207. Give us a call if you have any thoughts, comments, queries, innuendos, pseudonyms, homonyms, and a hymn. You want to sing a hymn? I don't really care. Because my guest today is someone you may want to ask some questions to. Her name is Chrystina Katz, and she hosts a show right here on this very show, Gutsy Travels. She's here in studio to talk about her show and travels where she's been, and really the concept of the show, which is really pretty unique. I binge watch it like I was binge watching Grey's Anatomy. I binge watched her shows yesterday. Thank goodness I have a big screen to watch them all because I moved them from YouTube to my big screen. Great stuff. We'll get to her in a few minutes here. I may refer to her about some of my headlines and stuff, as I always do. 702-992-3207 is our number. Again, thank you for watching on Facebook, whether it's on my channel or the WWDB channel. YouTube, same thing is available as well. My Aaron's Hour Show YouTube channel. Same thing for WWDBTV. I feel like I go down south when I say that all the time.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy. And if you are driving around town, need to leave, pick up the kids from soccer, go food shopping, go find Easter eggs early, whatever you need to do, download the WWDBTV phone app if you have Android, WWDBTV LV if you have iPhones. Take me on the go. Either way, if you miss it all, go to Roku. If you have Roku, download the WWDBTV channel. Not only will you be able to see Aaron's Hour, but you'll also see Christina's show on there. And what did I use? What was the word I used last show? A plentiful? A wide?
Plentiful.
What was it? A plentiful. I'm not allowed to use plethora anymore.
No more plethora.
Plenty of plethora, plentiful shows on the channel there. Everything from Aaron's Hour to traveling.
You can use multitude.
That's next week. You have to remind me. That's a big multitude. That's 3 syllables. I can only handle 2, especially on the weekend. Anyway, thank you. Multiple. Many. How about many? Is that good? That mean the same thing? Anyway, I am monitoring the chat room, and if you are watching us on the YouTube channel, that's cool. You can send your messages in there. John can pull them up off the screen and put them up here, and we'll be happy to say hello, address you, whatever you need us to do. If you have announcements, birthdays, weddings, I don't care. If you're looking for somebody, you can use the channel for anything that you want. It's okay by me. Anyway, so Christina will join us officially after the break, but I may refer to her anyway. I don't like that even though I'm on the one shot. There we go. I got to turn the on-air sign straight. My belt's not straight, but that's okay. I'm not straight either, so it's okay. All right, before I forget, for those of you who are into sports cards, collectibles, and toys, my good friends over at Power Play Sports Collectibles, Scott Hosey, they have a couple of shows coming up at Sam's Town, August 26th and 27th, as well as November 4th and 5th down at Sam's Town. Times and everything, probably the same as last time. 10 a.m. starts on both days, but you can check them out at Power Play Sports Collectibles on Facebook or the website for detailed information for times as we get closer, for vendor information and such. It was a great time last time. John was there with us, even dealing with some internet issues. We did our shows. Well, we did them. You just may not have seen them very well.
Good shows.
They were good shows. Take our word for it. They were good shows because the internet at Sam's Town really was not very cooperative. But anyway, so that's that. Now it's time to get some headlines. And therefore, it's time for...
With a nod to the past and an eye to the future, here is Aaron Phillips with Vegas Unwrapped 2.0.
Wife kills me every time when she sees that Batgirl at the end there. Thank you, John. I get in trouble every time I go home.
You asked for it.
Well, I did, didn't I? Although my wife wants her face put on there. Can you do that?
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Tell her to send me the picture that she wants.
Yeah, you really.
I know. I just stepped all over it right now, didn't I? All right. One of the great things about Las Vegas, people win, although our city was not built on winners all the time. But I love sharing when people have success. So here you go, folks. You ready for this one? Guest takes home over $1 million at the Flamingo. It might have been April Fool's weekend, but not for this person. Are you kidding me? This person hit for $1.3 million on the Love Sweets poker slot machine. This person was from Reno. Or let's see if I have the name real quickly here. Julie Griffiths won $103,000 as well. She's the second person. $103,000 for Julie. An unnamed anonymous person won the $1.3 million.
Can I get their number?
Yeah, Rich. I don't know if they're dating though right now, John. I don't know. They don't ask for that.
It doesn't hurt to ask.
No, that's true. It doesn't. It does not. And then Saturday, Caesars Entertainment said another guest won another $100,000, hitting a jackpot playing video poker at Caesars Palace. So I don't know what's going on. Caesars Palace has just been giving away money like crazy. Any of the Caesars properties. So hail Caesar. Anyway. Oh, hail. Guest turns a $10 bet into $14,000, becoming the biggest slot jackpot in Reno. Now, think about this. If the biggest slot jackpot winning in Reno is $14,000, why are they calling Reno the biggest little city? Wouldn't their jackpots be higher? But I'm just guessing. Anyway.
No, they're little jackpots.
They're little jackpots. Oh, I have so many other jokes in my head right now. A lucky guest at a Reno property turned that $10 into, oh, I'm sorry. I misread that. My bad. Can we rewind this segment?
Yeah.
$10 bet. I misread my own handwriting, which is not unusual. $10 bet, I apologize, turned into $14 million. That's why it was the largest jackpot. My bad. According to the Atlantis Casino Resort Spa, the unidentified guest won a megabucks jackpot for $14 million. The property said it had confirmed with IGT, and the guest massive win marked the biggest slot machine in jackpot Reno history. $10. Christina's sitting up with me on the desk. I'm going to ask Chris because she knows this stuff too. People win on a $10 bet. The part of the story that nobody ever hears that I'd like to know about, how much should they spend before, right?
Yes.
They probably spent gazillions of dollars. Then all of a sudden they're down to the last $10 and makes for an intriguing story that's what they hit $14 million for. I sold timeshare for a while.
Yeah.
Don't hold that against me.
All right.
So I would always meet guests and they say, well, where are you staying? Oh, I'm staying at the Flamingo for free. It's complimentary. I said, let me ask you a question. You come to Vegas? Oh, all the time. I love playing at Flamingo. And they count me these rooms. And I look at them and say, sir or ma'am, you realize you just simply prepaid for those rooms, right? All the money you're putting in the slots. You're paying for that. And they look at me like, huh? They get very disappointed when I make that realization. And then I remind them, again, that, we're just not a city that was built on winning a whole lot. 40 million people winning would not make Las Vegas a very prosperous town. But when you all do come in, we thank you for helping our taxes. Okay. But here's good news regarding the water situation. You were recently out at Hoover Dam, one of your recent shows, the Lake Mead area. And I noticed in that show, and I'm jumping ahead, it's called Jumping the Shark, and why I don't have any scripting because I kind of go all over the place. So one of the shows you did was there, and you showed the white lines with your guests there that day. You're talking about the water levels and everything. Well, did you know Southern Nevada Water Authority says that Lake Mead has gone 80 feet higher because of water conservation efforts. Not the rain, because keep in mind, we get, 4 inches of rain a year here. As of Monday, the water level at Lake Mead was about 1,046 feet deep, according to the Bureau of Reclamation. But according to Southern Nevada Water Authority, had major water conservation efforts not been taking place along the Colorado River by their users over the years, the level might be around 966 feet. Instead, it's actually 80 feet higher, which is good news, but that doesn't mean you can wash your car 4 times a day at home. So don't do that. But it's good that at least I don't think we're ever going to not see water in this town in my lifetime because people forget. Las Vegas means what? The translation, you know what that means, right? The meadows?
The meadows.
The meadows?
Yeah.
Meadows.
I did not know that. It used to be meadows?
Well, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's what the Moapa Indian tribe when they first came out here.
Okay.
But what people don't realize, at least from what's been reported, under our fair city is a boatload of water that has just never been tapped into. And for what I've read, that water supply is like worth 100 years worth of supply in case, God forbid, Lake Mead ever goes dry.
Okay.
So the Colorado River actually had a good year also with snow and everything that happened that feeds in. So at least it looks good. We've also had a pretty rainy start to this year for the most part, right?
We did here, and I just got back from Montana and Wyoming, and I left in a snowstorm. So it's still snowing even though it's April.
But that helps us. That helps.
Yes,
that helps
it
the
does.
environment, which is cool. Did you bring any snow back with you, though?
It didn't last
Didn't last,
as it
didn't
got
make it through
warmer
TSA?
and
No.
warmer.
TSA would have
No,
probably
I
stopped
drove.
anyway. Oh, you drove.
I always drive.
Oh, that's right.
I love to drive so I can see everything.
I couldn't stand my drive from New Vegas. Listen to me. Jeez Louise. New Jersey to Vegas when I moved out here 25 years ago. I swear I'd never do this. 5-6 days with 2 3-year-olds in cars.
Oh,
No.
well, yeah. You had a factor involved.
Yeah, you were probably doing the speed limit too.
Oh yeah. I was doing the speed limit. I want to get that ride over as fast as I can. Are you kidding me? All right. Ocean Prime Las Vegas is going to be hiring nearly 200 people. So if you're looking for work and you can cook, no excuses for you. One of the Valley's newest restaurants is searching for 200 associates. Ocean Prime Las Vegas will be centered at the corner of Las Vegas Boulevard and Harmon Avenue. If memory serves, that used to be where the motorcycle Harley Davidson was, right? Is that right? Am I in the right corner there?
Yeah.
Right? Some of the positions available include culinary and front of house positions, ranging from operations, chefs, servers, bussers, and bartenders. Additionally, management positions such as sommeliers, sous chef. Who's sous chef? Somebody named Sue's?
Some lawyer.
So what, Ralph Nader?
Yeah.
And dining room managers available. Anyway, walk-ins, you can apply online and welcome at the hiring office Monday through Fridays, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m., Saturdays from 11 a.m. to 5 at BPS Harmon, located at 3717 South Las Vegas Boulevard, suite number 325, or by calling 702-529-4770. You can go online at www.oceans-prime/careers/. So there's another job opportunity. See, people say there's no work to be found in this town. Call bullshit on that. People just, you know what? The pandemic really caused a lot of people, and they were double dipping between unemployment they were getting and whatever stuff. They were making more money being on unemployment because of all the extra funds that were being made available. What did they have to go to work for? Many people are making more money not working than working. Yeah. And I think that has kind of carried over. Anyway, I digress because I can. Treasure Island, Las Vegas awards 7 guests with over $10,000 jackpots. Now, if my math is right, carry the one, use my toe. That's $70,000 or so. So here's what they did. 7 major jackpots were awarded Treasure Island during the month of March. That's right. List of wins provided by Treasure Island were Jeffrey D. visiting from Florida won $10,552 on the Wolf Run Eclipse Grand Jackpot. Could the name of these machines be any longer? Can't you just say I have a slot machine? Jesse R. visiting from Wisconsin won $10,320 on the Willy Wonka Bonus Progressive. Is that like winning 2 golden tickets? Yep. Is it progressive? Spencer M. Spencer for hire? I don't know. From Las Vegas, at least, won $10,005 on the Triple Stars machine. Nancy M. visiting from Wisconsin picked up $14,000. Kenneth K. visiting from Washington won $32,000. Kevin T. visiting from Florida won $10,000. And Patricia S. visiting from California won nearly $15,000 on the Dancing Drums Grand Jackpot. So there you go. Listen, since the pandemic, I mean, I've been here 25 years. How long have you called Vegas your hub city?
2 years.
All right, 2 years. There's never been this amount of news going out about winnings ever in Las Vegas until after the pandemic. Because part of marketing, right?
I was just going to say marketing. People are winning. Come, join us.
Even the airport people were winning jackpots at the airport, which is generally unheard of because in the past, the airport slots were always the tightest. You got a concealed audience. You're not going anywhere. You're stuck there. But then all of a sudden, I'm reading about jackpots at the airport winning as well. It's a great marketing ploy to get out as many announced winners as you can for people to come, right?
I agree.
Except my name's never attached to any of the winnings. I can never figure out.
Are you playing?
No. Is that part of it? No, I didn't think
Yes,
so.
you got to play to win.
Jeez. I would just hope they'd say, all right, Aaron, here you go. Here's some money.
Something wrong.
Right, exactly. You mean they just want to say, hey, here's 10 grand for your show? Hint, hint. Anyway.
But you know what would be a good idea?
Tell me.
Okay.
Are you talking on a mic when you talk like this, or are you sounding muffled to everybody else?
I sound muffled to me.
Up your dosage in your meds, you'll be fine. Go ahead. You were saying?
At the airport.
At the airport.
They should make those slots pay off. Only to arriving passengers.
so they can take that money and then spend it in the casino.
Right.
Wow.
So they win $100 at the airport, and they lose $5,000 at the casino.
At the casino.
Right?
All right,
And then they get $50 on their way out.
just for coming. It's like a timeshare tour. Here's your $50 back on your way out. I love it. All my friends in timeshare now are going to hate me. Jackpot redemption. Player on their last $10 wins over $10,000. The Four Queens Hotel downtown. Let's see. Officials from the casino said that a guest from Alaska was playing the Dragon slots that hit the jackpot. The player was on, supposedly, their last $10, betting $5 a play. This was when the Alaskan hit for $11,681. Again, my question is, previously in all their other visits, how much more did they really spend than that $10? That's what I was wondering. Now, winnings don't always happen in Vegas. I love picking up these stories from outside of Vegas. A Virginia man buys 20 identical lottery tickets. 20 identical. Ask me how many of them hit.
All 20?
Yes. Ding, 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 ding. If it took any longer for her to answer that question, I was going to check her pulse there in a moment.
Like,
Yes. One man in Virginia bought 20 tickets for a single pick four lottery drawing and won 20 times for a total of
$20.
that would have been funnier. No, $100,000.
Wow.
Each of those tickets were $5,000 winnings.
Nice.
Fikru Herpo of Alexandria bought 20 tickets for the March 8th pick four drawing with the number combination of 2527 when he visited the 4 Mile Run Shell Station on the South 4 Mile Run Drive in Arlington. My goodness, the top prize was $5,000 in every card. Therefore, all of his cards hit for $100,000. Happy Easter and Passover and holiday, whatever you're celebrating there. Get it into the bank before the brick currency takes over the world and our money will be nothing. Anyway, that's a whole other topic. All right, with that, we're running a few minutes late because I just have too much damn time fun on this show. Because when we come back, you see her, you've heard her. Now we're going to talk about Christina, Katz, and her show, Gutsy Travelers. You're going to like the idea and concept behind this, and we're going to find out why she's even doing this. Because she loves to travel. Hint, hint. You're watching Aaron's Hour. We'll be right back.
Are you looking for someone to provide training to your staff? Do you need a motivational speaker about how to handle change? Do you have an upcoming event that needs an MC to handle those responsibilities? Well, look no further than longtime Las Vegas radio personality Aaron Phillips. I am local to Las Vegas and I can blend my talents with any audience. For more information, please visit www.aaronphillipsvoice.com and book me for your next event or training needs.
Hi, I'm George Miklos.
Hi, I'm Rick Upchurch.
Hi, I'm Aaron Phillips, and we are
The Round Table. Check us out.
Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific Time Live.
on Facebook page as well as WWDBTV. Hi there, welcome back. Don't you just love ending conversations as John goes, you're on. Anyway, jeez Louise. All right, Gutsy Travels. If you haven't looked it up on WWDB Network, but of course there's a website with the same name, Gutsy Travels. Christina, Katz. Are you a member of the tribe, by the way? I got to ask. The tribe?
The tribe, no.
The Jewish tribe.
I married. Into
Okay,
Katz.
got it. Well, Katz is usually very
Yes.
good, so that's what I was asking. Not that it matters. I just always like to ask silly questions at stupid times. Hi, Jennifer, out in Hawaii. I see you out there. For over 30 years of corporate project management and entrepreneurial expertise in consulting training, Christina has embarked on another adventure, which I love, celebrating gutsy people. She travels the world hearing stories of people who have been brave, bold, and tenacious to change their life, and more importantly, positively impacting others, which I like that aspect as well. She utilized her love of travel to share unique locations and meet cool people, and to think she's now here with me. She better get a new agent for that matter. So their stories inspire audiences to be gutsy themselves. Plus, she gives travel and on-the-road productivity tips for those who also love to travel. I won't read any more because it's better if we just talk about it. Christina Katz is here with me. How are you?
I am good.
Thank you so much for coming
already
on.
having fun
I know,
today.
right? Listen, if we can't have fun and make fun of ourselves at times, what good is it? So it's good. I got to turn this back now because it looks silly sideways. There we are. And I notice if I turn it on, where's the button? On this
Then it
side.
might
Watch
be
it.
too bright. Yeah.
Oh,
Too
that's
bright.
actually better than I thought. But we're going to leave it off. Anyway, thank you for coming in. Appreciate it. We talked on the phone during the week. I literally binge watched your last 3 or 4 episodes yesterday. I love them. I love them. I love them. I've fallen in love with it. But one thing I always like to ask my guests, before they got to doing what they do now, okay, obviously you have years in corporate work.
Yeah.
And myself spending many years in the corporate environment, it gets stale. It's like, I can't do this anymore. What was the aha moment for you in general when you said, all right, after 30 years here of doing all this stuff, I got to do something for me? Was that your gutsy move, getting out of corporate to start your concept?
That was, but the Gutsy travel show came about last year.
Okay.
And I'd already been out of the corporate world doing
Okay.
the training, consulting,
Okay.
facilitating workshops, and doing some coaching as well.
Right.
Because I was in project management. So productivity, being organized is all just part, and I
Right.
kind of run my life that way. and it allowed me to travel.
Okay.
So in that traveling, it was March 9th of last year
Okay.
that I was driving and I was listening to a podcast. Do you listen?
Aaron's Hour. No, wasn't Aaron's Hour?
I didn't know you though.
Oh, that's true. We did.
But otherwise I would have.
Oh, sure. Nice. Kick saving the beauty.
But also, do you do a lot of self-development?
Right.
So I was listening to a podcaster and he said, what makes your heart sing?
Okay.
And that grabbed my attention.
Sure.
I pushed pause. I'm continuing to drive and I go, I'm doing it.
Where were you driving at the time? Just curious.
I was near Evanston, Wyoming,
Okay.
in Wyoming.
Okay.
Yes, I can
Okay.
even
Just curious.
see it
Yeah.
in my mind.
Because it gives you that indelible imprint in your brain for the memory.
Exactly.
Okay.
And so it was, well, what can I do? Well, I love to travel, but that doesn't make money. That sucks the
You
money
spend
out of your purse.
Right. Unless you find a corporate sponsor to help you travel.
Yes, and that helps.
Hint, corporate sponsors.
And we do have a few corporate sponsors already
Right.
that believe in the mission
Right.
and that are helping to support it. And my love of meeting new people and hearing their stories. When were they gutsy?
Right.
Because it reminds me of one, growing up in domestic violence.
Okay.
And then I got out,
Okay.
grow up,
Right.
go to college, move out of state. And then I ended up in it again in a marriage.
Oh, okay.
And that didn't show itself until I was already
Till
pregnant
after the
with our
fact.
daughter.
Mhm.
And then a few years after that, I was able to get out of that situation.
Okay.
But the interesting thing is that I was in Florida at the time and
Okay.
resources to help anyone in domestic violence were there, but very limited
Sure.
because of funds and
Sure.
so forth.
Sure.
So at that point is when I vowed to
Okay.
help people
Okay.
get out of bad situations in the future when I could.
Mhm.
Fast forward over the last couple of decades, I would volunteer at domestic violence shelters, do the training. Here in Vegas, I've lived in 7 different states.
Okay.
And not in all those states, but Vegas
Did you
is
live in all
one.
at the same time?
No.
Oh, okay. All separate times.
Hey, I'm an old woman.
The post office would have had a tough time tracking you down all your mail.
No. So here in Las Vegas is Safe Nest,
Yes.
and I'm part of the PS 417 program.
Okay.
And this was my way of giving back. Well, what happened on that March 9th and me realizing what makes my heart sing is training
Right.
is how can I give back
Mhm.
and help to inspire others to be gutsy,
Right.
to get out of bad situations and or follow their dreams.
Get out of their bad situation. If I can, I just want to take those comments and kind of step back a little bit. Get out of any situation that they want to get out of, good,
Yes.
bad, or indifferent. Like we joked about, 30 years in corporate, it was time to get out.
Yeah.
Okay. You're doing something that you're just not happy with. Maybe it's a hobby. Got to find another hobby. Your focal point was a situation for you,
Right.
that ignited your fire to help others in a way
Yes.
uniquely built around travel experiences, but meeting people along the way. And I think that's a great combination. And so I just want to make sure the audience realize you don't have to be in this type of situation that Christina has described that she was in to qualify as a gutsy move to get out and find something new. Mine was health.
Yeah.
I had to do something pretty gutsy to get my health in order. So mine was a health issue. So I want to just let everybody know, any gutsy move really to get outside your box of struggles.
Whatever,
kind of what
yes.
we're looking for.
Whether it's domestic violence or getting out of a bad job
Mhm.
or one that just doesn't serve them anymore.
Mhm.
That's all. Could be a good job, good company, good
Right.
culture,
It's just not happening.
but it's just right. It just doesn't feel right for them and it's time for a transition. So
Right.
whatever that is, plus following their dreams.
Right. Following their heart and their passion.
Mhm.
And I watched yesterday the story of the lady up at downtown Summerlin.
Yes.
Melissa was her name?
Melissa.
You'll fill in the blanks there with that. I saw that one. the gentleman who was blowing up not Red Rock, who's up in the
Moab.
Valley of Fire up there, blowing up something on a railroad track. That was a pretty big rock that was on that track. Your producer, your cameraman, you guys were out of Hoover Dam.
Yes.
He was talking about giving up. His gutsy move was actually doing similar to what I do. He's a voiceover actor. And he finally said about a year or so ago, at least from when that show was filmed, that he said, you know what? I'm jumping in to do this.
Yeah.
Those were the 3 episodes that I watched, and I love the poignancy with which the people shared their story.
Yes.
So I touched on what those 2 guys were, but talk about Melissa for a second, because I don't want to share that. That's not my place to. She had a great story, and I'm very happy for her in watching that. Share with the audience about that episode.
Well, Melissa's professional. And she took her a lot of years, but she recognized that she had an alcoholism issue. And it took a lot of guts for her finally to acknowledge it and make the steps toward recovery. And even though her husband did volunteer to go with her to support her, she truly felt like she needed to do it on her own. And she did. And to this day, she manages it. She takes care of herself, and that really built her confidence.
Sure.
And because she went through the recovery process, she now coaches others. She will help anyone.
And you're never
who
a
wants it.
former alcoholic or drug user.
Manage.
You're always in recovery because you have to control and manage it because one time could cause a slip. So to be able to control and manage it in a way that she's really not putting herself in danger is huge. And I loved that story in particular because I know people are in that category. Some are successful at managing, some not so managing. What I loved about also those 3 episodes I talked about, at least for me, there were areas that I'm familiar with. Downtown Summerlin is the shopping center area up in Summerlin, Moapa, Valley of Fire up that way where everybody can get their fire. I love the fact that you guys talked about the shop there right off of the highway. That go down to buy fireworks and there you go. We walk in.
Everything
We
there.
have a comment online here. Who's that? Who is that saying that? Trish, am I reading?
Yeah, Trish Cruz.
Okay, thank you, Trish. She says, my gutsy move was to recognize that I was so unhappy in my job that it affected my entire life, had to go. That makes me think about my days in timeshare. Thank you, Trish, for that. I appreciate it. I love timeshare from the standpoint of meeting people from all over the world. Kid from Jersey is where I grew up, sitting down with someone from Scotland and Ireland, listening to that heavy accent.
Yeah.
I asked these people one time one question about the travel habits. I couldn't understand a word they were saying because their accent was so thick. But I didn't care.
Yeah.
Because but the stress and it was a time right around the time of 2008 when the economies were crashing. I was still in this business and I'd lost 2/3 of my annual income after that. But the stress just got to a point. I loved aspects of it. But my family, when I would go home, if I made money, they'd say, how was your day? I would say, oh, it's great. I'd tell them the story about the couple. If I didn't make any money, I would just say, I was uneventful and that was it. The family knew not to ask me anything. I'd go up to my office for a few minutes to unwind, change, collect myself, and that was it. So I get dealing like what she was just talking about, that gutsy move because of the job situation. It's not fun.
Well, and what's interesting is Trish is part of the Gutsy Travels.
Okay.
She is an episode, the Sedona episode.
I saw the Sedona list on there. I didn't watch that one because you gave me homework. We talked on the phone on Thursday. If there's any shows you want to watch, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, okay. But I saw the Sedona one. Like, nope, I got to make my time valuable today and watch the ones that Christina told me to watch as my homework.
Well, now
I can go back and watch it now that I have a
Trish is here supporting us.
All right, Trish, I got your number now on that show, Trish.
They're all good. They're all great.
Thank you, John.
You know why they're all good? Because John's not involved in making them. That's why.
Oh, that's cruel.
Am I being honest, John?
No.
Oh, okay.
I did tell her, you should do that.
You were the inspiration? I knew he would take credit
He did
on that.
support me.
I know he did.
I sat in that chair.
Yep.
He sat right here, and I pitched him the entire concept.
Right.
Before we started making those shows.
Right.
Yeah.
And he was like, I love it. You got something here. I'm here to support you. So Thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Absolutely.
And Ryan Vaneski is our producer,
Right.
and he's doing a great job putting those together. And of course, we change it up all the time.
Right.
So that we, test the market, right?
Sure.
See what
you have to.
flies.
You have to. I mean, if you're going to do something that obviously your audience is not so much into, why would you continue doing it? You want to a point, you want to continue doing what your audience wants, although you have to try some new things every once in a while.
Yes.
They may work, they may not work. that's a gutsy move, and what we do is trying to figure out what we want to do and see and hope that it's going to work for the audience.
Yeah.
But then I will now go back and watch that one with Sedona, because I've never visited Sedona, and I would love to.
Oh, yes.
My wife and I have talked about it. Does she live down there?
She did. She
She
just
does live in
recently
Sedona?
moved to Vegas, but
Oh,
she
she
lived
did?
there for 4 or 5 years, I think.
She moved to Vegas?
Yeah,
I didn't know that.
yeah,
Well, then we have,
just recently.
Trish, you still have your home in Sedona? Can I borrow it for a week or something? You know anybody down there?
She does. She does have friends in Sedona.
No, but that's cool. Thank you, Trish, for sending that in. Appreciate you following up. So I just love the concept around. So, but what gave you the idea? Was it that drive that day when you listened to that podcast that said, you know what, I can marry these two ideas of helping people, which, by the way, I'm going to see again, remember those roads that I told you about we get off of?
Spaghetti.
This is one of those off ramps. I'll get us back on the road in a moment.
No worries.
But in my opinion, especially in today's society, the more that we can do for others, the better we become as people,
Yes.
and the better our society becomes as a whole. Why aren't more people doing that? Because they feel that they should. I don't want to feel, no one should make anybody feel good because they're obligated to. Oh, it says in the Bible or the Torah, I should be supporting my fellow man. We should wake up every day and say, you know what? Let me smile at that person today. Because you don't know what a smile is going to do for somebody. That's support for somebody, right?
It can be, yes.
Last week, I had lunch with a friend of mine across the street at the unnamed restaurant, Draft House, so we can charge him for anyway. And there were two North Las Vegas police officers having lunch near us. And I looked up and I saw them there. And all right, you know what? I want to do something nice today, just because. And so I told our waitress, who was the same one for them, I said, can I have their bill? I want to pay for their lunch. And no problem. So I saw it. She brought the bills over. I paid for them. And she says, do you want me to tell them? I said, I'm not doing it for recognition. But if they're going to ask why you're not bringing a bill to them and you want to tell them, I'm okay with that. Okay. And so they got up. I expected them to walk. Instead, they came walking over towards me and my friend. And we were just talking. And I looked up. Let me tell you, they were so grateful just for the gesture. And all I said to them was, thank you for keeping us safe. Please, you be safe. And of course, she says, Trish says, I know people.
She does.
And I gave him a good laugh, because on the way out, I said to him, look, I said, as a citizen, I just want to give you one very important piece of suggestion and advice. Duck. Just get out of the way.
So that they don't get hurt.
And they laughed and they said, you know what? That's the best piece of advice I've heard all day. So I sent them out with a smile as well. They had no idea who I was. They have no idea what I do. And I didn't want them to know. But just the gesture, and I said to my guy before I paid it, I said, I'm going to do something good for somebody today, just because.
Yeah.
Now, just because they were police officers, I did it because of what they do for us, and they don't get the recognition, the rightful recognition that they should for protecting, and all the, defund police and all that. My grandfather was a police officer back in New Jersey in 1948 is when he finally retired. So do I have a soft spot for police? Sure. But just to do something, like I said, somebody's passing you, you don't have to know them for you to say, hey, how you doing today? Because you don't know what a difference that's going to make in somebody's life just by saying hi, that you care. And that person could be on the way to buying a gun and taking their own life out, to be extreme in my example. Okay? Just be nice to everybody. That's why I say what I do at the end of every show as a reminder, which I won't say now. I'll say it at the end.
Yeah, because then I'll think it's the end.
Then I'll turn off the show and we're done a half hour early.
And I have a parallel for you.
Please.
I've done something similar as well, just by going up to a police officer and say, thank you for what you do.
Absolutely.
Or a security guard, done that before. And there was one, and it was actually a female, and she just stared at me like disbelief.
As a police officer.
As a police officer, disbelief that I would acknowledge her for what she's doing.
Right.
And there was another officer, a male officer, that I said that to. And I thought he was getting emotional. So I don't know what was going on, in the back in his heart and hitting the back of his mind, but something, and I could tell that was impacting him.
Absolutely.
So that's something we can all do for anyone, is just say thank you. Heartfelt.
It's so simple. It's so simple that we forget the simple things in life. Let me do a quick reset. Thank you for watching. You're watching Aaron's Hour with Aaron Phillips, coming to you live from the Worldwide Digital Broadcasting Studios in the heart of a warming up Las Vegas. I'm Aaron. A lot of ways for a lot of people to travel, just because they can travel is one thing. A lot of people would love to do that. And I know you love to travel, but you're doing it with a purpose now. That's what's really cool about that. So your shows right now. Give us a website first of all.
Sure. GutsyTravels.com.
Gutsy, nothing
Yes.
fancy with the Z or anything in there. Gutsy. All your shows are up there, plus all your other information, inspirational stories about some of your guests, if I recall. Is that correct?
There's background,
Background.
and then it'll connect them to YouTube because
Okay.
I want a global audience because I
Absolutely.
go to Africa this year.
Oh, you go to Africa?
Yes, this summer.
Woo! How long are you spending out there?
Looks like it'll be about 3.5 weeks.
Wow. Hey, what are your plans for out there? Safaris, the whole
Yep.
thing?
Zambia for a safari.
Okay.
Then I go up to Tanzania
Okay.
and Kilimanjaro.
Oh, you climbing it?
We'll see. We're still making our plans. But
Oh, you were hiking in Red Rock, or not
Yes.
Red Rock, but you were hiking out of Valley of Fire.
Oh yeah, and
So-
I've been to Red Rock many
Oh,
times,
yeah.
Calico Basin as well. Oh yeah, I love.
Have you gone up to Mary Jane Falls up there? Have you ever hiked up there? Mount
That's up
Charleston?
in Mount Charleston.
Yeah, have you
I
gone?
have not hiked that one yet,
It's
but
beautiful.
we just did a month ago. We did a Gutsy Travels filming with a podcaster,
Okay.
an entrepreneur who is an outdoor entrepreneur, and
Okay.
the podcast is all about that.
Okay.
And we did it at the retreat at Mount Charleston
very
in the
cool.
lodge.
Very cool.
We couldn't do much hiking. We tried to do a little bit, but it was so
It
slippery.
was before the fire, I
snow.
hope.
No, this was just
No, after they
200
reopened.
Oh.
But what was it? The lodge that had the fire, right, John?
Yeah.
Right, it was the
Lodge.
lodge up there.
It was, yeah, that was further up the
Right,
mountain.
that was the one further.
This
You were
is
talking
the
about the one
first
down,
one.
down below.
Yes.
Gotcha. I went to, my wife and I were invited to a wedding at the lower one.
Yeah, the
in the month
retreat.
of October. We thought it would be pretty okay, but boy, at 7:00 at night in October, it was freezing up there. Holy crap. But
The
It was
elevation
my
is
wife's
much
fault.
different.
So let me tell you about Mary Jane Falls. First
Okay.
of all, my wife's afraid of heights. So she's been on this mission, talk about Gutsy.
Yes.
She's been on this mission the last couple of years to conquer her fears of height. So
Awesome.
we've hiked up the one on Lone Mountain, the mountains over there, Lone
Yes.
Mountain 215.
Yeah.
So we go up there, and the weekend we did that, of all weekends, was July 4th weekend, was it 2 years ago when we had the earthquakes here in Las Vegas?
Yeah.
Jeez.
You may
It
not have been
didn't
there.
happen.
Were you in Vegas when those earthquakes happened in the summer? Because it was my birthday weekend. That's how I remember it.
I came in September 2020.
So you may have just missed it.
Okay.
So we're up. We don't know nothing. We're up in the mountains. We're climbing. I almost fell off, but that's a whole nother story. We get down to, and now our phones are, because you have no reception up there.
Sure.
So all of a sudden we get to the base, when we get back down, all of a sudden both of our phones are blowing up.
Ooh.
And our daughters at the time, I have one daughter lives in Virginia. My other one was traveling on the road still. She's a sound designer for Broadway musicals. So she was traveling. I don't remember where she was. Are you okay? You okay? Did the earthquake? What earthquake? We're up in a mountain. You would think nothing.
Didn't feel anything.
Nothing. So the next night, that was July 4th. My birthday's the 5th. So the 5th, we went out for dinner with friends. Went back to our house afterwards. And as we're sitting there, it was like about 8:30 p.m.
Mhm.
And we're sitting there watching. And I happened to have had ESPN on. It was a basketball game, like a ladies' basketball game coming from Cox Pavilion.
Okay.
And as we're sitting there, my wife and I turned to each other. We're hearing the rumble, and our light in our house was shaking.
Ooh.
And then all of a sudden, the camera in Cox Pavilion showed the big scoreboard that's hanging from the roof, swaying.
Whoa.
That was the first time we'd ever felt an earthquake. It was like for all of 10 seconds. So that was a weekend we went up to Mary Jane. Beautiful falls up there. I mean, the water's ice cold, but it's the waterfalls coming down. It was gorgeous. So if you ever get a chance to
that
go to
on my
Mary Jane
bucket
Falls,
list.
you got to
Okay.
do that one. That is
I like
beautiful
it.
up there. Do it during the summer because then you
Yeah.
can appreciate the falls. Anyway, I digress. 702-992-3207 is our phone number. All right, so let's talk about the shows itself. So this past year, let me backtrack. Of all the people you've interviewed in season one, because you mentioned season one is in the books, it's
Yes.
the episodes that are up there now.
Yeah.
What stories did you find most intriguing that surprised you? I mean, obviously the couple that we've shared it with, alcohol, she got out of her situation. The guy who blows himself up every once in a while, that's too gutsy for me. Your producer does the voiceovers. I was able to understand and correlate with him personally. But what story of all the ones in season one kind of was like, wow, what was the one that caught you off guard the most or surprised you the most about somebody's story?
That's a hard question to answer because every single one is so
I
different.
know. That's the typical, don't piss off any of my fans. Right? I know.
They're all so
But every
different.
parent has a favorite child, no matter what. No, I'm only kidding.
Well, the one
Which one did you enjoy the most? Let me put it that way.
I definitely enjoyed all of them.
Sure.
There is one that jumps out that I like to recommend that people watch, and that is The Showgirl, Las Vegas.
Which is the one that I watched.
You did watch that one?
That's what, yep.
And it's because she was a showgirl. Her
Right.
name is Megan Wilson. She was a showgirl.
Mhm.
And
And it wasn't Lola. She was a showgirl, but she wasn't Lola.
No, she was
Okay,
not.
Sorry, maybe Barry Manilow will send me tickets to a show.
And
Sorry.
And from her, we heard so many stories
Yeah.
of things that happen in the background that the audience will never know.
Right.
And some are funny and some are dangerous and some are not funny
As a
at
showgirl.
all, as a showgirl.
Right.
Now, as we know, we really don't have showgirls on stage in Vegas right now.
They
That's
should.
been, I know,
But, yep,
I know,
yep,
that's
yep.
more the old Vegas.
Of course.
And what she wants to do, it's her dream, her vision,
Mhm.
is to now create a theatrical show, a production
Life of.
for the stage,
Right.
yes, the life of a showgirl,
Right.
to tell those stories, to educate
Right.
some of those things behind the scene.
Right.
And those stories are fascinating when it comes to things that happen with tigers.
Right. Well, we know one story about happened with tigers.
Yeah,
Right.
and some of that happened behind the scenes as well.
Go ahead.
So it's just, that was really fascinating. And what we're going to do, because she is not in the very beginning, but she's in like year 2 now of putting together that production, which it may take 7 years to get
I
that
found
to
that
stage.
fascinating in that story.
Yeah. So we're going to tap in on major milestones with her.
Periodically.
Yes.
Oh,
and
nice follow-ups.
follow the process,
Nice.
which pivots me to Africa.
Okay.
The person I'm going to visit in Tanzania, her name is Teresa, and she was here in Vegas.
Okay.
She had visited Tanzania. She fell in love with Tanzania and the children.
Right.
And so she decided to pack everything up, sell everything. She moved to Tanzania. While she was still here in Vegas, I interviewed her
Okay.
before she went.
Gotcha.
Now I'm going to do a follow-up with her there,
Right.
and then we're going to add those 2 pieces for an entire
Nice.
episode.
Nice.
And who knows, maybe I will tap in and follow her.
Sure.
Because I love tapping in on how's it going, what's
Right.
happening.
Updates. Those are great
Yes,
stories.
the initial gutsiness, but there's challenges
Absolutely.
all the time. So
Absolutely.
now what's the new challenge? What's a recent challenge
Sure.
that they
The
overcame?
gutsy part is when you have those challenges, just keep going.
Keep going.
Before we go to break, this is the time of the show where I throw some questions that you're not expecting. Unless you saw unless you saw my previous shows, you might know it's coming. But who's your favorite actor of all time? These are quick response questions, by the way. Favorite actor?
I just went blank.
Favorite actress? Who do you like to watch in a movie? Let me ask it that way.
Any of the Marvel movies.
Oh, okay. So you're a big Marvel fan?
I am a big
superhero?
Marvel. Yes.
Oh, shit. I think I already know the answer to the question I asked about that one. Jeez. What's your favorite music genre?
Oh, actually, well, country,
Okay.
country pop,
Gotcha.
pop country. And then I like instrumental, keep it in the background.
Sure.
I can focus.
Like jazz music in
Yes.
particular? Okay.
Yes.
Favorite movie of all time?
All Marvel movies.
Pick one. Give me one.
Wolverine.
Hugh Jackman?
Yeah.
Captain America wasn't better?
We all have our own things that we enjoy.
Folks, you like Hugh Jackman for a whole nother reason. It wasn't his nails that were long anyway. I terribly
You may
digress.
never know.
At least not on the air. Anyway, so what's your favorite all-time song so that while you're driving around the country,
Yeah.
it's coming on, you're at a red light somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
That song comes on. You don't care what anybody's seeing.
Yep.
You're singing to that song. To what song is that?
Eye of the Tiger.
I love that song from the Rocky.
Yes.
First of all, I love
Yes.
all Rocky music because with what I do to stay healthy, I love all the music because it's so inspirational.
Right.
But
It's
Eye of the
upbeat.
Tiger,
Yes.
love
That gets
song.
me going.
That's a good song, especially when you're driving. It's a nice upbeat song too to get you moving.
Or right before you go on a show or go on a stage.
Are you saying you need to be motivated to come on the show?
Inspired. Upbeat.
Let's see. What excites you most about you? Well, no, I already know the answer to that question. I'll take that back. What do you consider as the best gift you could receive for your next birthday?
You ever heard of the 5 love languages?
I've heard of it, yes.
I think they should be called appreciation languages because it's really about appreciation.
Sure.
For me, it's time.
Okay.
Just having time with someone, going out, for lunch and having a honest, sincere conversation. Sure. Mine is time.
Okay. One last question before break. If you can win an Olympic medal for any sport, real or fake, it doesn't matter, what would it be?
That's a wild question.
I didn't say they'd be good questions.
All right, and it could be anything.
Anything. Do you carry all your grocery bags in on one trip, no matter how, that sort of thing. Or it could be a real sport that you've always wanted to do or you did, whatever comes to mind.
Hiking.
Okay.
It didn't have to be real, but I love hiking.
Okay.
I really enjoy hiking.
We're going to step aside for our last break. As we come back, we're going to learn more about what Christina has on the desk in front of her there. She got a book or something over. I think it's a coloring book, but I'm not really sure. You're watching Aaron's Hour. We'll be right back.
Avengers, I want you all to check out Aaron's Hour. It is Saturdays from 12 p.m. with the voice himself, Aaron Phillips. Of course, he's got the full support of, the Las Vegas Avengers, the Empire, and...
This is the story of one man's incredible journey from 350 to 200-pound weight loss and his mission to help and inspire others. Aaron Phillips. People are praising Aaron's new book with 5-star reviews. Aaron's various humorous and wildly entertaining stories portray his rise as a sports announcer, his encounters with exotic and irregular entertainers on the Las Vegas Strip through his long-running Vegas Unwrapped radio show, and his contagious and positive style of pursuing success. Call now or visit our website or Amazon now to get your copy of Let My Voice Speak to You, stories from a Hall of Fame radio personality. Order now.
All right, welcome back. Christina got to see what my gutsy move was in life with that last commercial. If you want to learn more, you can check it out online. Go to Amazon, whatever. Email me, whatever. Just check it out. I don't care anymore. Speaking of books, you have something over there that I think you want to share with. I think it's great. What you got?
Well, I have 2.
Okay.
This was a compilation, so we had a couple of people do this. This was 6 authors called Sparks, Ignite the Power Within.
I think it's fading in the background, but John, if you can get a one shot on this, let's see.
Of the blue.
Suze, my book's the same color.
There we go.
And John's going to see if we can get a shot on this. My book's the same color and it faded.
Yeah.
But go ahead, keep going about the book.
All right. So this is inspiring stories.
Okay.
And mine is about gutsy pivoting.
Okay.
And it has several small stories within my chapter about when I was gutsy. One of those times was when I quit smoking.
Ooh. Okay.
Which was about 20 years ago.
Congrats.
And really hard to do so.
Okay.
And was able to, and some tips as to how to be gutsy, in different circumstances.
Did you just quit like cold turkey to stop smoking, or was there something that inspired you to quit?
Something inspired me.
Okay.
I started coughing up blood.
Oh yeah, that would do it.
Yes.
Yes.
And at the time I had a boyfriend who was very supportive and he said, okay, I'll quit too. So it wasn't the actual quitting part that hurt so much. It took 3 days to kind of ramp down to nothing.
Right.
It was staying off of them.
Right. It's like when you lose weight, it's great to lose weight, but it's hard to stay off to maintain.
Exactly. And that's what me actually just like a zombie walking toward a store to go buy a pack because I really need it out of habit. And then my hand was literally on the door and I stopped. And I froze. And so I won't tell the rest, but
that's okay.
These are, some of the little stories.
And where can people get the book?
Amazon, actually.
Okay. And the title again is what?
Sparks, Ignite Your Way.
Is it available through your website?
No, not this one. Is not.
Oh, not that one. She's got more books. What else you have there?
The other one is what I consider my secret weapon.
Okay.
So as I travel around the country and when I'm here in Vegas and other places, I have a planner. And I created this planner after I was in the corporate world as an entrepreneur It works for sales people as well. And you'll see that it has a lot of flexibility because of the blank pages.
I was going to say, they're empty pages. How much more flexible can you get?
In the very beginning, go to the very beginning.
Very beginning.
It talks about, what the system is. This is an organizational system that works really well for entrepreneurs and sales professionals because it is all about being organized both in your personal and your business.
John, give me the one shot back yet. What I also like, though, is each page has, so you can see. But on your sidebar, you have inspirational quotes. Yeah.
Yes.
So this is just some of the starting of the book where you get to answer some questions to start figuring out. But facing me is a quote from Benjamin Franklin that says, "It's not what happens to us, it's what we do with it that counts." That's what's on.
That is my favorite quote of all time.
There. Whose eyebrows are these? Well, anyway.
And it also has a way in the back. It has a way of keeping track, knowing what your monthly goals are every month. And
it's a turnout sheet too. Okay.
Yes, the turnout. And then that also acts as a bookmark.
Oh, great.
And this way we can keep exactly because project management, remember?
That's right.
Everything's got to be efficient and effective.
Now, is this on your website?
This is on my website. This is on the ChristinaKatz.com.
Spell Christina, please, because I screwed it up the first 12 times before we talked.
ChrysTina.
Why? Because we like you, MOUSE.
And last name is Katz, KATZ.com/planner.
There you go.
This is my secret weapon to be able to travel around the country, do what I do with consulting, coaching, and doing these interviews with gutsy people. So we can celebrate them, share their stories, and inspire others to go after what they want.
It's one thing when you hear the stories, but here you are being given tools to manage your success.
Yes.
Whatever it is. I mean, and you're hearing it from someone who's been there, done that. It's not like John trying to write a book about how to do something successfly.
You were so mean.
He'd write about 3 pages and would turn into a comic book. You know what I'm saying? So
that's okay. Your speaker or your mic's been off for 5 minutes.
Hey, let me tell you, nothing surprises me around here. No, I'm only kidding. But you've been there, done that. And when you can follow through with somebody who has been there, done that, and that person is giving you advice. It's like when I talk to people about getting healthy. I'm not a nutritionist. I'm not a certified trainer, but I share my story purposely so that my story can motivate.
Yes.
Something in there is going to and the way I shared my story was I shared it from the things my wife and I learned about ourselves. Just so happens we learned them around a health crisis and health transition. And that's the way I purposely told my story that way, was so people to maybe something I say in there, because I talk about my depression after my mom died. I talked about all that stuff that was involved in that. And you never know what piece someone's going to pull out and go.
Yes, it resonates with them.
Correct. That's my moment right there. So good stuff. So again, the book can be found where?
This one, Christina Katz.
Either one. Jim, want to start with?
ChristinaKatz.com/planner.
Right.
And then Sparks is on Amazon.
There you go. Sparks is on Amazon. Amazon Sparks. That's a good wrestler name. Amazon Sparks. Now in your main event. A couple more questions for you that are off the wall, because I can. This is going to be tough, but I'm going to ask it anyway. We'll see if I can surprise you. So one of the questions I like to ask is, who is your favorite superhero? And I usually like to give hints to my guests so they get it right.
I do know it without the hint, and that is Batman.
Yeah, but that's mine. Who's your favorite superhero?
Oh, mine? Who's mine?
No. I asked that, like, who's your favorite superhero, Batman or Superman? And I always like to help my guests if they get stuck.
Yeah.
But,
Batman.
Obviously, you're a Marvel fan.
I am a Marvel
So who's your favorite? Wolverine?
Yeah.
Did we already answer that?
Yeah.
Never mind.
And Iron Man.
See, Iron Man. There were 3 movies of Iron Man, right?
Yes.
Whichever one. Which one was your favorite of the movies?
I don't have a favorite.
You all
of them.
like them or all dislike them the same?
No, I like them all. I'd watch any of them again.
I like the original. Because first of all, it tells a backstory. And I think backstories and originals are good.
Yeah.
The second one, I think, was good. But I kind of lost it a little bit with the last one where
Thor.
Yeah, when they were all together. But wasn't there one where the girl, his girlfriend.
Right.
What am I blanking her name? Anyway, she jumps in the suit at the end to save.
But all of it is fantasy.
I know.
So
Yeah, like Batman's real.
At least he's not from another planet. At least he created unique ways to protect people.
they all
the
do
only
that.
smart billionaire in the world.
That's right. Oh, there's so many other comments about billionaires I can make right now, but I'm just going to let them go.
Now you're out of time.
I'm out of time. The quarter's running out. Okay, 2 last questions. If a movie was made about your life, who would you like to see star as you in said movie?
Oh, wow.
See, I told you.
Never had that
I
question
know.
before.
That's why I am who I am. I ask the questions nobody ever thinks about wanting to ask or answer.
Black Widow.
Why? Tell me why.
I like her.
Okay.
I met her in person one time, and she's just got a genuine caring about people.
Okay. You're talking about the actress that played it. What's her? Why am I?
Scarlett Johansson.
Thank you, Scarlett
Yeah.
Johansson.
Yeah.
She's a
I'm
good
a
actor.
Marvel fan too.
Yay.
Well, there's just some
You're
things
just
we have to look
surrounded
past.
by Marvel fans now.
Listen, I can't pick my friends. What can I tell you? All right, last question for you of funny stuff. When the day comes that you're standing at the pearly gates and the maitre d' is there, as I like to call them, to welcome you in, what do you want to hear from them? What do you want to hear from the maitre d' say to you before you come in through the pearly gates?
I'm going to slide in, and then he's going to say, welcome. You did a great job. You accomplished what you set out to.
There you go. I would ask on the way in if I were you, are there any gutsy people in here? That's what I would have asked. No, that's great. I ask that just because I'm curious to see how people reflect on their own lives. I get some serious answers like you gave me, some that are just silly and funny because that's the way their mind thinks. But I just find that it's a really interesting question because, again, it lets people look at themselves, which a lot of people don't really do, except for in the mirror. And that always doesn't tell everything.
But I got to tell you, that question has been something I've reflected on many times in my life. And that's why I already have that vision of literally sliding in to the gates or home base. Right. And being able to say, I accomplished what I wanted to accomplish.
Almost
and
as
that
if you knew that
pushes
question was
me.
coming today. It's like you were prepping all this time for me to ask that question.
Hey, see? But that really pushes me to continue to be gutsy and do things that people think are kind of crazy.
Leave your mark. Well, but that's okay. But it's your way of leaving your mark on the world with people in a very positive light.
In a positive way.
Real quickly, let's pitch your books again.
The Gutsy Pivot Planner. And that is ChristinaKatz.com/planner. And Sparks. I ignite your way to success, and that is available on Amazon. Thank you for that.
Now, if somebody has an interesting story, a gutsy move, do you reach out to them? Should they reach out to you? How do people connect with you to do that?
Great question.
Thank you. That's here's your 20 back, baby.
Go to gutsytravels.com, go to the contact or your story tab, and then they can submit to me. What is their story? Why do they want to tell the world? Because this show is available worldwide. And then that way I will get back to them because that'll send an email to me. Perfect. And then we'll talk, talking to a couple of people now in other countries. And we do it on WhatsApp. Believe it or not, it's just easier on WhatsApp. And then we'll talk and we'll see, where do we align? And I will want them to watch the shows too. Does this resonate with them?
Right. Absolutely. By the way, I made a shameless comment about this. It didn't get picked up by a lot of people, but I'm going to reiterate it again. She obviously drives a lot around the country and travels. So seriously, if there's any entity out there, any company that's involved in the travel industry, whatever it is, and this idea is something that you want to get behind and support what she does because of how she supports other people, guys, don't be shy. Step up, support her so she can continue to do her work in the form of advertiser, sponsorship, whatever it is. And if somebody were to do that, how would they reach you? Same thing through the website?
They can do it through a website.
There you go.
That's the easiest way.
And then I'll get a piece of the pie. No, just help her. She's doing good stuff, folks. When people do good shit, we need to support them around here, for crying out loud. All right. Thank you so much for coming in.
Thank you. I had a great time.
You'll come back if I ask you again?
Yes.
Good.
Give me 5. That was fun.
Hey, thank you for watching. My guest next week will be Eric Moore. He is an artist in town. I met him last year at Unicon. He gave me a beautiful Batman picture that he gave to me just because I'm that kind of guy. Anyway, Eric will be with me. We'll talk about his artistry and everything on next week's show. As always, I do like to leave with a joke before I say goodbye. And I know you're all going to kill me. Last week, I talked about a cucumber's favorite sport being pickleball.
Okay.
Get the joke?
Yeah.
But this week, what's a zucchini's favorite sport? Say it out loud, John. Go ahead. Squash! Be kind to everybody. Why is that? We're all we have. Have a great week, everybody. Happy Easter. Enjoy the rest of Passover. We'll see you next week right here on Aaron's Hour. Thank you for watching. Take care, everybody.
Bye.